Before we jump into today's conversation, I want to take just a moment to introduce you to my guest, Samantha Tishner. Sam is someone who is very special to me. She's a friend, she's a part of my team, and she's also a woman with a powerful story of resilience, healing, and redemption. In this episode, Sam gets very real about her journey through two difficult marriages, toxic relationship patterns, and what it was like to lose pieces of herself along the way. But more importantly, she shares how God met her in that brokenness, helped her rediscover who she was, and ultimately turned what she walked through into a calling to help other women heal. I do want to give you a little heads up. Some of what we talk about today is sensitive, particularly if you've experienced a toxic or emotionally abusive relationship yourself. My hope is that you will hear something even bigger in Sam's story, a message of hope. Your past does not have to define your future. Healing is possible, and you can find yourself again. God can use even the hardest chapters of your story for something beautiful. So with that, I want you to meet my friend, Samantha Tishner, in this upcoming interview. So I have a wonderful, wonderful guest with me today, Samantha Tishner. Hey, I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for asking me to join. I'm excited about this.
Me too. Me too. So we have some history
Mhm.
between us. So Sam is a great friend. She actually started out as a member of the VIP Center, and then we just became great friends. And she is also on my team.
Mhm.
I love your energy. I love your smile. I love everything about you. And I'm happy that we are on the Purple Light podcast together today.
Absolutely. I love how God connects us with the right people because definitely a connection by God. That's for
That
sure.
is the truth. So, but we are talking about a subject today that is pretty tough, pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do today is I want you to hear Sam's story. It's a very powerful story, one that I'm sure that many of you, many of us can relate to. But I want her to be able to share her story. And I want her to also be able to share with you how she managed a very difficult challenge in her life, how she came out of that, and what she's doing today in terms of her calling to help other women to recover and come back to life so that you can step into your calling. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So,
Mhm.
Sam, why don't we start off? Why don't you tell them who you are and what you do?
Okay. Well, I am Samantha Tishner, and I am a relationship and life coach. And this is something that has happened over, it was probably about 6 years ago where everything started transitioning in this way. Before that point in time, I really didn't even know what a coach was. And um, it was definitely a calling. God led me in this direction. So, and that's how I got connected with Angie. She was looking for speakers, and I don't know how I got on her list, but somehow I did.
Act of God.
Act of God, act of God, absolutely. And yeah, the first time I walked in the doors here, I knew this was a place that was for me. So
Yeah.
very excited.
So you are a coach, a relationship and divorce coach, as a matter of fact,
Mm.
but you also deal with toxic relationships, which all
Yes.
come with the territory.
Yes.
But even before that, before these are what we call your pre-coaching years, you have a personal story,
I do.
kind of a heartbreaking story. So why don't you start off by just telling us what your life was back in the day, and maybe you start with your first marriage.
Yes. Well, my first marriage, we were married for 10 years, had two daughters, and it was a relationship that And I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but you pull into the garage and you start scanning the garage to see if you can find signs of, have we been drinking? How much have we been drinking? Is there anything hidden? What am I walking into? Is this going to be good? What do I need to do? How do I need to present myself? Is there something I need to try and manage before I even get in the house to make sure that the situation is good? I lived that way for so many years. And
So I mean, just even in that little tidbit that you shared, you immediately became hypervigilant,
yes,
just looking for all the signs,
oh,
looking for
yes.
all the trouble. Yeah.
Yes, whether or not you need to walk on eggshells when you get inside, or and also to assess the mood. Assess the mood when you
Yeah.
walk in the door. Is it going to be a good night, or has it have the potential to be pretty ugly?
Yeah. So that and what do you think prompted all that?
I For me, when I really started in the relationship, um, everything seemed to be really good at the beginning, and everything seemed like it was going to be wonderful. Um, but as the marriage went on, there was drinking and the verbal abuse and the manipulation and all the things that come with that relationship, and it trained me to be able. I had to figure out how to navigate it all. And so, for me, it was I became really small and I tried to hide all of the negative that was happening in home life. And
Did anybody know that you were going through this?
no, no. And it wasn't really something that I would share either,
Mhm.
because at work, I was part of the executive team. I was a leader. So many people saw me as this so strong and independent woman. But then when I got home, it was a totally different story.
Yeah. So you started out, I mean, all women want the fairy tale,
And
right?
yes, exactly.
You want to be swept off of your feet,
Yes.
and your Prince Charming comes along, and
Yes.
you hope that you'll live happily ever after.
Yes. We're
But
celebrating 65 years of marriage,
yeah,
the kids and the grandbabies, and all the same family. I came from a broken home, so I was determined that it was going to be a one and done.
yeah,
But that wasn't the case.
yeah. So then the cracks started to show,
Yeah.
and you realized, well, this isn't Prince Charming
No.
here. I think it was interesting, so you were going through some love bombing,
Yeah.
and then you realized that this was not the fairy tale,
Yeah.
and it might even be that, I mean, you said, I don't remember exactly what you said, but basically you were conditioned.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
You said you were trained, but it's
Mhm.
actually that conditioning that happened
Yeah.
where you had to shrink yourself in order to,
Yeah.
to tiptoe around him.
Yeah. I had to change every time I walked through the door. I had to change into whatever I needed to be to make sure I could help navigate the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. One of the things that, as I've researched and, just walked through my own journey, I've realized that narcissists tend to pick women who will totally be flexible and change in order to adapt to him, just to have peace in the situation. And it
Yes.
sounds like that's what was happening
Yeah.
to you in your situation.
I would say that um, in my early relationships, I became that chameleon.
Hmm.
I would just blend in. I would like what he liked. I, would juggle around, do everything to try and make his life easier, to make sure I didn't step on any toes,
Yeah.
just to make sure that everything that I did was to try and please him, I guess.
So
And
you took responsibility,
yes,
not just for yourself, but you took responsibility for his behavior too,
yes,
which is,
absolutely.
classic narcissistic or toxic abuse is
Yeah.
what it is. It's a way to emotionally abuse
Yes. Yes.
women. So,
Mm-hmm.
so you went through this in this first marriage, and what was a turning point for you?
In the first marriage, my turning point. So when I talk about that things were going to either be ugly or not, um, the evening could go two ways. It could go where we're happy and energetic, or it could go with I'm going to fight and argue with you, and that's just how the night's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were in one of those nights where he just wanted to fight and argue, and I realized at some point in time, if I do not engage, it eventually fizzles out and he goes out in the garage and then I can have my peace. So that was my strategy. I would sit and listen to everything hateful that came out of him and I would just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was one night that my oldest daughter at that time, uh, my girls had already been put to bed, and she came out to get a drink of water. And so, since I was not engaging with him, he was going to the next target.
Mm-hmm.
And so that ended up being her. And so finally, I got her back to bed and he went out to the garage. And I'm like, why did you get up? You know, and that's the horrible thing too, is when your kids are involved in this too.
Yeah.
But I was trying to stay for them, thinking it was going to be, good to stay as a
Yeah.
family.
Isn't that part of the fairy tale that we
Yeah.
keep hoping that somehow the family will magically come together like the perfect family, and it ends up
Yes.
not being that way at all.
Not at
Yeah.
all. Well, and that night when I finally got her back and he was away, I'm like, why did you get up? You know. And she looks at me and she says, if I stayed in bed, he was only going to fight with you. And so then I realized it's like, okay, we can't do this.
Yeah.
We can't do this. This is not healthy for any of us.
Yeah.
And that was my turning point of I have got to do something to get out of this. This is not how I want to live.
Yeah.
And this is not how I want to set an example for my girls. I don't want my girls to repeat this.
Yeah.
So that was the turning point in my first marriage. And yeah.
So, I mean, what'd you do? You just said, I'm leaving, or did you sneak out, or how did you get out? How'd you get away?
We talked about it and I told him that we needed to divorce. We can't live this way. It just can't be. It's not healthy for any of us. And at first, he knew that things weren't the greatest, and so he kind of supported the decision. And then one evening, he just got really angry, and it kind of got a little scary. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
we're just out of here.
Yeah.
And it was very quickly after that, the girls and I moved out, and
So you left
were
the
a-
home, you
yes.
just got away.
we just got away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the girls with me, and yeah, it was.
So you managed to escape. Got
Managed to
away.
escape, yeah.
Yeah. So that marriage ended. And then what happened?
And then I thought that I had, worked on healing. I did some journaling. I did some reading and stuff. I really thought that I had gotten into a good place. And also being out on my own and having that peace when you come home, it makes you feel like you're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then having a job that I had where I felt like, I was in a good spot there, started doing well. And then somebody from my past had reached out and he and I started talking, and then that relationship started, which ended in marriage number 2.
Okay.
And at first I thought this was great.
I'm the new Prince
I
Charming.
knew Prince Charming. He seems to be different than my ex-husband. he's saying all the right things. Everything seems to, just align. I I let things happen in the relationship. He was living out of state. I let him kind of move into my space because, he couldn't do such and such. So really needed to be able to move into my space so he could do his new job in the area. And so I did a lot of things that I didn't didn't think I would ever do, but I allowed it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew it, he was living there, and um, the relationship just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And he asked me to marry him, and even though there were red flags and stuff, I said yes. And
What were some of the red flags? What was?
well, it was in my first relationship, I did not feel that I was seen or heard or loved the way I always thought I wanted to be loved. And I was feeling those same things here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like with me giving him permission to move in, which was way too early in the relationship, but I allowed it to happen. It kind of started taking some of myself away again. I felt like he was starting to take control of
Yeah.
stuff again, that instead of me, showing up as me, I
Yeah.
felt like he was starting to kind of invade.
Yeah. Yeah. And classic narcissists, it's all about control for them. And and it may not be in your face kind of
Yeah.
control. It can be very subtle. And it sounds like
This
you've had
was,
some of those
yes.
subtle
Yeah.
things happen.
And so, yeah, it was happening so subtly. It's kind of, you think about it, it's like, oh, well, that's not really good. But yeah, okay, it's fine.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
fine. We'll work with it. It's
Yeah.
okay. And I would also tell myself, well, this is my second marriage. Surely, maybe this is as good as it gets. Maybe this is what I deserve.
Mm,
And so then you get that negative talk
yeah.
rolling around in your head, and that doesn't help any.
Right.
So, yeah. So then that relationship went through, asked me to marry him. I said yes, but I was very hesitant on setting a date until finally he said, well, either we need to get married or split up. It kind of gave me an ultimatum. It's either going to happen or we're splitting up. So at that point in time, I was invested with his child as well that was living with us. And, I didn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, we'll do this.
Sam, one of the things that I absolutely love about you is that you are probably one of the kindest women that I've ever met. And I hear that gift, that fruit that works in you, that you just have this kindness about you. Yeah, you're tough and you're tenacious, but you also have a gentleness about you.
Yeah.
And it's very attractive to people. So I'm not surprised one bit, that you're like a magnet for,
Yes.
for someone, like a narcissist, because they want to come in and exploit that. That's something that they don't have.
Yeah.
And so they're looking to almost get that as their supply
Yes.
from you. So it sounds like that's what was happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And, unfortunately, there are times in our lives where we let that person use us in those ways because we have such a heart.
Yeah.
Most of the women that I work with, they're givers, and we have that heart. We want to help. We want to, I think one of the big red flags too is if maybe I can help them get better.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think
That's the golden one.
If I do this, then that will change all of this.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I am very guilty on that, but I can help them get to a better place.
Yeah.
So, yes, yeah.
So when you got to the place where you said, I do.
And yeah.
And
Oh, yes. We had our little family get together, got married. Shortly after being married, it's like we totally split apart. He was kind of doing his thing and living his life. I was taking on responsibilities of mom and caregiver for everybody in the house. And he was just kind of did his own thing. He would say that he couldn't hear things when I was talking. So there were many times I would try and talk to him and he would just ignore me. And I don't believe that it was, I think he was choosing not to listen to me. So again, I realized I was back in a relationship where I wasn't seen or heard, and it was not healthy. And it wasn't just hurting us, it was hurting the kids too. My youngest daughter could not get along very well with him at all. And, I was really hoping that he was going to step in and be the dad that, you know, I thought that he was
Yeah.
to his own son. And yeah, it wasn't good.
Well, I mean, and just listening to that, I mean, we're bringing God into this, and we're bringing the enemy into this. I mean,
Yeah.
Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what a narcissist does, especially in the beginning of the relationship. He'll create this mirage,
Yeah.
and but the thing about it is they can't keep it up. They
No.
can't keep it up forever. It's not their normal, natural MO. So
Yeah.
eventually you see, what's really behind the big
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz show
Yes.
that's going on.
Well, there were times that I would try to talk. It's like, okay, we haven't been married that long and we're at this part in our relationship already.
Yeah.
We've got an issue here. Let's talk about this. He would easily flip that around that I'm the one with the issue.
So he would blame shift.
I was the one with the issue. It wasn't him. He, just thought that that's how to deal with me or whatever it is. But he would constantly flip that around to where I'm the one questioning, okay, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do different to make this marriage work? What is my, and it was always me.
Right.
And it was never anything with him. But you did mention something a second ago. I did not invite God in either one of my marriages. He really was not a part of either one of them.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the big things too.
Yeah.
We did not have him centered.
Right.
So yeah, I was able to just let the devil in and have his fun.
Oh, so you, in this second marriage, you realized right off the bat that you were already drowning.
Yeah.
And you were probably going to drown before you ever got to the shore. So
Yes.
what would you say was, the downhill, you're like, okay, this is really going down, and I need to look at what's going on here.
Well, of course, I'm just realizing this, of course, it wasn't just me coming up with this and deciding that, yes, we need to change. It was an issue between my youngest daughter and him. An issue came up, and, of course, I went into mama bear mode. It's like, okay, no, we're not going any further with this.
Right.
He and we had gone on a trip, a long weekend trip, and I thought, okay, this is good. Actually, there's two trips. The trip that we went on, it's like, this is good. We're going to find time to bond. We're going to figure out what's going on with us, and we're going to be able to fix this thing. Well, that did not happen. And coming back from that trip, it's like, okay, I don't know that this is right. And then later on, it was probably about 6 months later, we decided to go to St. George Island.
Oh, my friend.
Yes. And we went down there, and we were going down as a family. And it's like, okay, hopefully this is going to be the trip that we're all going to bond. And that morning he got up and he's like, I'm not going. I'm like, what? What do you mean you're not going? I'm not going. I'm going to go do my own vacation. I need time out by myself.
What do you think he was doing?
Well, I do think that he went and had time by himself but he took majority of the money that we had planned for the trip. And so when I took off with kids, I had to figure out how to do this vacation that we had planned with very little. And after the trip, he said, well, I was hoping that you would decide you're changing your ways.
Whoa.
So
Wasn't that
again,
mean?
it was my fault, and I was the one that's supposed to figure out how to fix our relationship. But oh my goodness, it was, and that
I
was
feel like a righteous indignation rising up to me right now. Like, where is this person? I want to throw punch this person right now.
I know but I
Breathe.
yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I get that when I talk to some of my ladies, like, okay, let's go. We're going. But yeah, so that was another situation. It's like, what is this? Hey, this is not right. This is not. And so that at that point in time, it's like, okay, I'd rather be single. I'd rather be single and just focus on my my girls and just stop this. I can't do this, and I'm not going to continue. So yeah, so that was some of the craziness. And 3 years into our marriage, I said, okay, I'm done. I get a divorce.
How did
And
he respond?
he is one of those that would try to get an attorney and fight for every single little thing. We finally got through it. It wasn't that pretty, but we finally got through it. And since we really didn't have any ties, I've been able to walk away from that one and not have to worry about that part of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Oh man.
So yes, 2 divorces.
Yeah.
And I thought then, oh my gosh, I am the only woman on the planet. I've had 2 divorces. Nobody's going to trust me. Nobody's going to want to be with me. I am just destined to be alone at this time. And, I'm a magnet for broken relationships,
So you were
toxic relationships.
you were in pain.
Yeah.
You had really, in essence, 2 marriages in a row. You felt broken. You knew that you needed to heal. So what did you do?
I got mad at God.
Okay.
I did.
Step one, get mad at God.
Get mad at God. Why did you do this? Am I a crash test dummy for relationships? What is this? Why didn't you fix my relationships? Fortunately, that was short lived, and then I, got over that. But I did what I do when I get into difficult relationships is I look to God. Fix me. Fix this.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a strong relationship with him up until that point in time. But of course, when I feel broken, I want him to come in and rescue me. And during that time, I really started getting serious with my relationship with God. It's like, okay, God, it's you and me now. And I can't do this. Through a lot of prayer and searching, I aligned, okay, I'm the common denominator. Yes, I can list this with the relationships, but I'm the common denominator. What do I need to do to shift? And that's where my journey began.
Yeah.
That's where my journey began because as I started looking inward and focusing on my relationship with God and what I needed to work on so I did not have this again, that's where he laid out the plan. And it's amazing. He put so many different things in my path that just kind of catapulted me
Yeah.
to a different place. And then it was, Sam, I want you to teach other women.
Oh man, I love this so much because this is why I exist.
Yes.
Because I like to see women quit operating beneath their calling and being in shackles in spiritual prisons.
Yes.
The enemy had put them there, and I love it to see when women say, "Yes, I'm stepping up into God's call."
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
what has happened to you.
It has.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So talk a little bit about that journey and how that.
Well, I would love to say it was easy.
Okay, not a fairy tale.
Not a fairy tale. It wasn't easy, but it has been so healing. So for me, I grew up in a broken family. Um, Biological mom left. Dad wasn't around. Biological dad wasn't around very much. So abandonment issues. There were different things that happened in my life where I felt like I needed to people please. And so, I took that to the highest level I could possibly do, which ended up leading me into the relationships and stuff that I have. So as I'm looking at my life and going through and trying to heal and understand, okay, why am I being this way in my life? Why am I showing up this way? I realized a lot of different things in my history that has kind of made me who I am,
Mhm.
that ended up allowing me to attract these different relationships in my life.
Yeah.
God directed me to look inward. I did not know me. I did not love me. I did not see me. I never took the time to. I was always focused on everybody else. So God started showing me a mirror and saying, look within. Look who I made you to be. And when I started looking within, that's when, the healing really started. Because I was able to let go of those things, number one, that either weren't mine to carry or that were part of my past that God wanted to take from me. And so that allowed me to continue on that journey, going through, getting to know who I am.
So really what God was doing was he was restoring your identity in
Yes.
Christ, which is
Yes.
key
Yes.
to the whole success
Absolutely.
of this. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I can't look at it as, oh my gosh, I've had all this in my life that has happened. I wouldn't be here today had I not gone through all of that.
Right.
And even when I look back, even though I was not seeking God through the whole thing, I could see his hand in my life all the way through.
Yeah.
And he has used all of that to bring me to this point in time. And I'm really just grateful for it all.
So you became a coach and
Mhm.
started working with other women. And so you started coaching and you have developed everything that God brought you through. You've basically captured that and
Yes.
created an experience for women who have gone through toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse, all the things, and you
Mhm.
have captured it in the signature program. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about this program.
Well, as I was going through like coaching training and everything, everybody kept coming back to create what helped you.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was always going off the walls and trying to create all this and that to compare myself to other people. And finally got through some of that.
Yeah.
So I finally honed it in and it's like, okay, this is my journey. This is what I did. And where I started was an online coaching program. And so that is what I created is an on-demand coaching program that is self-paced. It has 3 different parts to it. And it is the same worksheets and the sessions that I would do with the women that I work with.
Yeah.
And I only focus on women because I have seen when we change and get to know who we are and start showing up in this world who God created us to be, it shifts everything around us.
Yeah.
So the work, if we do it in here, it's amazing how everything shifts around us.
Yeah.
So that's why I just work with women to try to get them to show up in this world the way that she was created to be.
Yeah.
And once you do that, it's amazing. So we go through getting reconnected with who you are, We go through all the awareness exercises to make sure that you know where to set boundaries, or, how to react to different things and how to show up. And then during the final part of it, we go into the F word, which is forgiveness. We have to go through that stage.
Yeah.
But to be able to forgive others for what they have done to us, but then also to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
For the different things that either we have allowed or we've done,
Yeah.
in our lives. So yeah, it's a really powerful course, and I absolutely love it.
You know what I love, and I've gotten a sneak peek at what it is. It's so powerful, and I mean, this is one reason why I'm totally endorsing this. But this is an authentic, God-driven kind of experience that isn't your typical, coaching in a box experience. And
Yes.
there are all kinds of coaches out there. I mean, there are people that they're not even certified. They just deem themselves a coach. And then, and then you have other coaches who they've gone through years of training and have all these certifications. But this is something, well, I mean, you've got the certification and you've got the authentic direction of the Holy Spirit in this. And that is what I think sets this apart. And when I think about this course, it's also, I love that it's on demand, because the women that we attract on the podcast, a lot of them, they're still in the relationship. And so they feel the need, they have to be discreet as to, when they do this, and they have to be mindful of the money, and all the things. But the way that you have this set up, it's easy for them to, come in and out as they can and as they need to. So
yeah, and that was one of the things that I struggled with in the beginning too. Was, I too had to be discreet at that time, and so to have something that you can kind of fit in wherever you need to, as well as to go back to different sections, if you want to revisit. And it's providing so many tools to be able to help you show up. And it doesn't mean, at one point in time I thought, okay, I'm going to heal and it's going to be great. Well, at that point in time, I was 48. It's like, okay, I've had 48 years of crap and crazy, and that's a lot to unravel.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, life still happens. So then there's things you got to work on, but you have the tools to be able to work through it to where it doesn't become part of that baggage.
Yeah.
You can start letting that baggage go to be able to open up for, just beautiful, beautiful things that God puts in your life.
Yeah.
So I've seen it in my life, and I've seen it in women that I work with. It is just, I love the work. It's so exciting to just watch somebody just step into this beautiful, beautiful, amazing woman that God created her to be.
Here's the fairy tale.
Pretty. Yeah.
Oh, love it. Love it. So I know that our time is coming to a close, but one thing that I do want to tell all of our audience here is that I would love for you to go and sign up for Sam's coaching experience. This is perfect for the woman who, whether you have actually gotten out of a narcissistic relationship and you're needing healing, it's not over. It's not just about survival. It is the actual, you need to go through the healing process. Because I mean, just evidenced by the fact that you went from one marriage to the next, there was no healing. You just saw and felt better. That obviously didn't work. And that's true for many other women, self included. So I want to encourage you to go and allow yourself to do this work and allow yourself to heal. It's so powerful. And we're going to give you the link down in the description below. So you can go to that link. And I want to, we have a referral code for you, and it is Angie 50. Is that all caps?
Yes, all caps. Angie 50.
Angie 50. So
50.
ANGIE 50. If you put that into the referral code, that will let everybody know that you saw this podcast and you saw Sam here. And yeah. And I'm going to tell you that it is extremely reasonably priced. So go check it out and get started on this right way. Anything else that you want to add? Any words of encouragement that you want to tell our ladies who are listening today?
You know, the one thing that I would probably say is I have been guilty many times of purchasing online courses, and man, I don't honor myself by completing them or going through. I would encourage you that if you choose to sign up for this course, that you do everything in your power to keep moving forward with it.
Yeah.
Because even on the tough days or the tough lessons during it, you know, you can either reach out to me, set up a time to me, you can email me. Just find your strength to be able to keep moving forward, because you will not be the same woman who started the program as who you will be when you finish it.
Yes.
And it is amazing. I have worked with so many women who have either still been in their relationship or, you know, on the verge of leaving the relationship or out of the relationship. Just by seeing and watching how God shifts and changes everything around you as you do this work, it is just absolutely beautiful. And I've experienced it in my own life, and I've seen it in the women that I work with. So I would just encourage you to keep going. And if you have a time where you get stuck, please reach out. Let me help you through, or find a good, solid, you know, therapist or counselor or whatever you need to get through this, but keep going, because that is just the important part, is to do this for yourself, to make the commitment and finish it all the way through, because it is very powerful work to do.
Yeah. I love that you're saying that. And a lot of times women, because they've kind of been beaten down by the experiences that they've gone through, they think that they're not worthy, or they have to, again, put themselves on the back burner.
Yes.
And that's the thing that gets them in trouble. You know, that gets us in trouble when we say, okay, I'm going to stop doing this for me. I'm going to stop making me a priority.
Yeah.
And that's not what God's calling us to do. He's called us daughters of the King. We're joint heirs with Christ. And so we don't go to the back of the line.
No.
We come to the front. So
He wants us to shine. He wants us to shine his light through us. And the only way we can get to that is if we are ready to stand as who he has made us to be.
yeah.
And when we let this world beat us down, we've got to break free from that.
Yeah.
And this is I've seen it proven that this is a way that he works through. So
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna close in prayer, and I'm gonna say a prayer for you as we get ready to close out.
okay.
Father, I just thank you so much for my sister in Christ, Sam. I thank you for this precious woman of God, this woman who has persevered in the face of spiritual warfare and challenge. Lord, I thank you that you brought her through, that you brought her to a place where now she is operating in her calling, Lord. And I thank you that you have gifted her with so many gifts and so much wisdom, discernment, and insight. Lord, I pray that everything that she does, everything that she touches, Lord, that your favor and blessing is upon it. Lord, that every woman who she comes into contact with, Lord, they will know that this is an authentic woman of God who is following the Holy Spirit. And I pray for these women who are being drawn to go through the coaching experience. Lord, I pray for their healing. I pray for your direction, for your light in their lives. And Lord, I specifically pray for freedom, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So thank you for everything that you're doing in Sam's life and these women who are listening. We love you. We give you all the praise. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you very much. This has been great.